Hi, I'm Dawn from Upside Lane, where I provide nourishing recipes, joyful living tips, and support for caregivers. Today I want to show you how to dehydrate vegetables. Dehydrated vegetables are a wonderful, healthy, nutritious snack. You still have all the nutrients, the vitamins and the minerals, and even the fiber. It's just the water is taken out of the vegetables, so it creates a lighter, crunchy, wonderful snack. They're really great for when you are traveling or if you're going on hikes and walks for hours and you want to just have a little snack with you. These are a wonderful way to go. I really like dehydrated vegetables, especially when I'm traveling. I'm actually going back to California in a couple days to see my granddaughter, and I'm going to take a bag of these with me on the plane. So the first thing I do is I gather up all my root vegetables. Root vegetables need to be steamed before you put them in the dehydrator. So here I'm washing and cleaning all of my sweet potatoes and my beets just to make sure everything is nice and fresh and clean. And I'm going to chop them up just a little bit and put them in a steamer basket to steam until they get slightly tender. Now, once I have all of my root vegetables on the stove steaming up, then I grab all of the other vegetables that I'm going to dehydrate. In this video, I'm going to be dehydrating vegetables like carrots, red peppers, zucchini, turnips, and then the sweet potatoes that I have on the stove. And what you want to do is you want to slice all of your vegetables very thin, and you want to make sure that they're all sliced very evenly. Now, you could actually use a food processor with the proper blade to slice up evenly all of your vegetables. But for me, I like to do it by hand. There's something kind of therapeutic and calming about just putting on some really good music and slicing them ever so slowly and calmly. Now I am adding here a little bit of olive oil. I don't like to use a lot, so I put just a little bit in my hands, and then I just massage the vegetables to make sure each piece has a little bit of oil. And I'm also using a bit of a no sodium salt. Once you have your vegetables kind of all sliced evenly and seasoned, then you're just going to lay them out on the dehydrator tray. And you want to do a single layer, and you want to make sure that there's a little bit of space in between each slice. You don't want to overcrowd each dehydrator tray. Now, there are a lot of different ways to season your vegetables. You can use all sorts of seasonings and herbs, but I just go the simple route. I use a little bit of olive oil on my hands and a little bit of this no sodium salt. It can take a little bit of time. This is actually where you will put in the work for dehydrating your vegetables, is through the slicing. So it can take a little bit of time to slice all your vegetables evenly and making sure everything is kind of laid out and spread out nicely. But once you've done that, the bulk of your work is done. Then you're just going to let the dehydrator do its job. So here I'm slicing up the sweet potatoes that have already been slightly steamed. These are a bit more fragile because they've been steamed, so you just want to, again, take your time and go nice and slow and make sure you have even slices. Now, some vegetables will dehydrate quicker than others. Some will take about 4 to 6 hours. Others will take about 8 to 10 hours. It's perfectly okay. You're just throughout the day just going to kind of check on them and see how each tray is doing. So there I have the red peppers and the turnips. We have the zucchini and we have the carrots. Just making sure that there's space in between each slice. And then we have beets at the bottom. So now all my slicing is done. So again, we're just going to let the dehydrator do its job. I'm going to plug it in, and my dehydrator has settings at the top depending on what you're dehydrating. So I am going to put it on a low temperature, maybe about 125 to 130, and I will set the timer for 20 hours, even though I know I will need probably total about 8 to 10 hours. Then you just put the top on and you let it do its thing. Now here it's been several hours. As you can see, it's nighttime, and I'm just checking on the vegetables. The red peppers have dried out the quickest, of course. There's not much to them. So once the dehydrated vegetables are done, I'm just kind of gathering them all up and putting them on a tray just to kind of dry out more, cool down a little bit before I start to store them in packaging. Some of the trays weren't done. Some of the zucchini and the sweet potatoes needed a little bit more time. So I put those into the center of the dehydrator, and I'm going to give them a little bit more time to dry out. Now, when the dehydrated vegetables are done, I store mine in Mylar bags with a little packet. It's a oxygen absorber, and I just throw that little packet in there, and it helps to keep the vegetables dry and fresh. So for travel, these Mylar bags are wonderful. You can label them, put what type of vegetable is packed in them, as well as the date. And then you just throw in one of those oxygen absorbers and seal it up, and you're good to go. This is what I will take on the plane with me in a couple days. There are other ways to store your dehydrated vegetables. You can certainly put them in a regular Ziploc bag. It doesn't last quite as long, but it definitely works for like a few weeks to a month. You can also use a glass airtight container. That works nicely. Even like a mason jar with a tightly sealed lid. Those will work for a good 3 to 4 to 6 months actually. But for long-term storage, when you want to store your dehydrated vegetables for like a year or more, the best way is to use these Mylar bags with the oxygen absorbers, or you can also use a vacuum sealed bag. Those actually work the best. If you use a vacuum sealed bag along with an oxygen absorber, that can last you for years and years. So that's how you make dehydrated vegetables. Very easy, and again, it's a wonderful, nutritious snack. I hope you'll give it a try. If you liked this video, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up or comment below. And if you want to be part of the Upside Lane community, I would love that too. It's a wonderful community filled with lots of love and support, where I provide nourishing recipes, joyful living tips, and support for caregivers everywhere. So until next time, bye for now.